wondered why certain moments can take your breath away? I'm Jennie Sikes, corporate recruiter turned soul alignment strategist, energy worker, and your friendly neighborhood doula for every stage of life except the delivery room. Each week, we open the toolkit, tarot, astrology, hypnosis, Reiki, and more so you can trade confusion for clarity, an autopilot for intentional alignment. Whether you're navigating a career pivot, a spiritual awakening, empty nesting, or just the sacred messiness of becoming, this space is for you. You're not just evolving, you're remembering. Let's rise together. The Ascending Dawn Doula Show starts now.
Hey everyone, I'm Dr. Pat. I want to welcome you to this fabulous show that the most incredible Jennie Sikes does. Now, when we talk about unpacking or unpack your purpose, reclaim your story, and rise to alignment, we often don't know the tools that are available to us. We often don't know how to get from where we are to where we want to go. And that's where Jennie comes in. Today, what you're going to be hearing about are things like quantum healing hypnosis technique. We're going to refer to it as QHHT, or you may hear about soul empowering hypnosis. Anything from past life regression to higher self wisdom, these are things that open the door. They transform. They create profound connections. But my experience with both have been they answer questions and they leave you with questions. And so today you're going to hear personal stories that Jennie has from the people she's worked with and what happens between these different modalities. You see, we're not one size fits all people. Humanity is not a one size fits all. And yet sometimes we try to take what works for him, her, it, that, they, and we try to fit it on, and it doesn't work. Today's show is to literally blow the doors off that and to say, if you work with Jennie, there is a uniqueness in you. Therefore, there's a uniqueness in what she does with you. Jennie, thank you for today. This is like cool stuff. I love
Thank you.
This. Yeah, let's tell everybody what, let's go over quantum healing hypnosis technique. Let's just talk about what that is. Let's start with that first and then jump into soul empowering hypnosis.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And these are so much fun. That's the other part of this I'll throw in. So first off, with hypnosis, let's throw that out there. People hear hypnosis and they're like, no, I don't want to be quacking like a duck. I don't want to be on stage or people are laughing at me. And they all walk away with some kind of just like bitter taste in their mouth when you hear hypnosis. But what happens when we unpack QHHT and SEH is that you get to realize you are connecting with your soul. You're literally connecting with your soul and your higher self. And if you want to take it even further, you can connect with your ancestors and your loved ones. And it's just a magical, magical experience. With QHHT, it's pretty well known out there. It was created by Dolores Cannon, and it's a very structured hypnotherapist way of doing things. It's about 3 to 4 hours a session, and you go through 3 past lives. You go through the mission, you go through the purpose, you go through the lessons of those past lives. And then you get to connect with your higher self. And when you're with your higher self, and you're actually channeling your higher self, you're getting even more amazing nuggets of information about each of those past lives. But how it connects to this lifetime, which is the most important lifetime. And then we add in some healing, energetic healing, and some goodness, and add in some couple of questions of how many past lives have you had on this earth plane. And QHHT can take you in many different directions, from earth lifetimes into starseed lifetimes. I think as Dolores Cannon's modality transformed over her many years of her practice, many folks then began to learn that, hey, I haven't just lived on Earth. I've actually lived in the Pleiades. I've actually lived as a blue star seed. Oh my gosh, one of the folks said was a blue star seed, a blue avian. It's just as a practitioner, after each single one of these sessions, you walk away going, "Oh, wow. Wow." And obviously the person gets to walk away with, "Wow. Okay, let's make things happen."
Yeah. And I love that we're talking about this for a lot of reasons. One of the things I love is that, especially for me, I mean, people were shocked that I had never participated in anything like this. I've been doing the show 22, 23 years, and this was my first year doing it. But what happens is you get a series of things, and I'd like you to address this. You get a series of things that you can turn out to be thematic. They turn out to be themes. And I want to
Yes,
talk to you about that. What have you noticed with your clients? Did you discover that there may be a theme that shows
absolutely.
up?
Absolutely. So let's go into one of my most recent clients. She has a lot of really good skills in this lifetime. Think your clairs, clairvoyance, clairgustance, clairsentience, but she doesn't know how to use those skills in this lifetime, and she's still a little hesitant with those skills. And as we began to go through her past lifetimes, she was a healer in three of those lifetimes. We went through three lifetimes, all three of them, she was a healer in some way, shape, or form. And one of those was a tribal community healer. She was a single person, no family, no husband, no children, just a community member. But that community member also was very much responsible. Let's use that word responsible for when children were born. She would then bless them. It was a badge of honor to bless them. And as people were sick in the community, they would come to her. So there was a natural healing that was taking place. Fast forward to another lifetime. There was a witch wound that we unpacked. And she was labeled a witch, and she was unfortunately, you think of Salem and things of that scenario. And there was a witch wound that she didn't realize she even had. Fast forward to this lifetime, she is an amazing cook. She's all about the herbs and the spices. And she said she learned at 7 years old and she had no idea how she did it. But when she's making her meals, she's making them with love. And she was able to connect that back to her abilities in her community in the past lifetimes. And that theme that spread through all three lifetimes were basically, as a healer in this lifetime, she's hesitant in showcasing her abilities out of that wound that is still present and needs some healing.
And I think this is important to really understand what these themes are. I mean, what happens sometimes, and this is the caution that I want to have, is that I highly recommend when you do this, you work with somebody like Jennie that can walk you through not just going through the session, but this time after that you need to unpack this. And
Absolutely.
right, I mean, you can go through something like this, and then all of a sudden, 2 days later, you're hit with something and you don't quite understand it. For me, uh, I went through this series, and the theme was that here I am, and almost every, let me just call them character, every character that showed up that represented some part of my past life was in war, a captain of a boat, was in Atlantis overseeing war, was back in Jesus' time
Hmm.
trying to protect people. So there's this theme until finally you're asked, who are you? And then you're Aries, god of war. And you walk away from that. Now, if you don't understand that, then you think, what the heck is wrong with me? But it makes perfect sense for me in my life when you
Yeah.
sit down. So let's talk about how we get insight, not just into what shows up, but how to use this now.
Absolutely. We'll tap into that perfectly. So, one thing that you and I had discussed in one of our previous episodes was
Mhm.
archetypes.
Yeah.
And in past life regressions, in QHHT, there are also archetypes. You mentioned warrior. Absolutely. I have spoken with so many people that have been warriors, and some of them have not been good warriors, right?
Right.
There are some past lives that you're like, oh, wait a minute, I did that? What? But I'll caveat that with saying that your higher self is what chooses what past life you're going to experience in that session. And if you're not ready to experience that, oh, I was that moment, you're not going to be shown that
Yeah.
lifetime and that experience. But the common denominators and the common thread with those lifetimes become very apparent, and every session is always different. It's different. You get to experience some themes of other things, but it's threading the needle in a way of connecting the dots, the breadcrumbs, the higher
Yeah.
self leaving breadcrumbs for just the right time and the right place so that when you walk away from our sessions, you can digest it and you can say, okay, if I was working through that karmic lesson in past life A and in past life B, I'm working through the same karmic lesson, but from a different perspective, then in this lifetime, how can I change that root, that structure, that response? It's
Yeah.
very empowering.
It's very empowering. And I want to talk a minute about how you work with people through the sessions for a minute, because I think it's important to do that and really tie that in to the second modality we're going to be talking about today, which is when we look at the soul empowering hypnosis, right? There's this technique, but the most important thing is there's a guidance system. You're the person that's helping people move through it. Let's talk about soul empowering hypnosis as well and what the difference is between the two.
Yes, so that's a great question. The QHHT is a very structured approach. It's very A, B, C, D, right? And people like structure, so it's a beautiful modality to have. Soul empowering hypnosis is more flexible.
Mhm.
So still you're working within the different brain waves. You know, you and I right now are in beta brainwave, right? We're talking, we're socializing, fully in control, do whatever
Yeah,
you want, right? And then we move into alpha brainwave, which is where we all go into alpha brainwave every time we go to sleep and every time we wake up. We're just kind of calm and we're still there. And then we go into theta. That's the deeper subconscious level brainwave right before sleep time. You're not sleeping yet. So within both modalities, you're in alpha or theta. So those are really important brainwaves to be in. With soul empowering hypnosis, we can get you there faster, quicker, and we can go anywhere in the world you want to go. If you want to channel your higher self right here, right now, we'll just progress into alpha brainwave and theta brainwave.
yeah,
And I myself have done this, and it's amazing. I mean, I at first did not believe it was happening, but I was literally sitting here and I channeled my higher self, her favorite color, her
yeah,
name, what
totally.
she brings into this equation to ensure that I'm empowered in this lifetime to make the right choices. With
Yeah,
soul empowering hypnosis, you can go anywhere and do anything. If you feel like you were on the Pleiades, let's go to the Pleiades.
yeah.
Right?
And
If you want to go to
let's,
Atlantis, let's go to Atlantis.
yeah, let's do it. You know what I love about this, and I want to say this to people because this is now a reoccurring theme for me looking at this in a lot of ways. What we're talking about is tapping into something that's already within us. Correct me if I'm wrong here, because I am not the expert.
100%.
You are, right?
100%.
But it's
Yes.
already within us. But for
Mhm.
whatever reason, it was in us when we were born.
Yeah.
I was known from the time I was born. I screamed for 4 years. Now, if you don't think that Aries is a little bit in there and some of these other people, right? Boxing gloves at age 5, right?
Hmm.
But that's not the point. The point is, how do we tap into this other part of ourselves? And I love this. So, do you work with people to help them tap into their higher selves? Because,
Yeah.
see, if you don't work with somebody, it's like I work with Jean Houston, and she taught me about my quantum partner,
Beautiful.
and I forgot. So
Uh-oh.
now I'm trying to remember how to do that because my quantum partner has already succeeded in everything I'm trying to do. And I have not referred to my quantum partner to get help.
Hmm.
Hello. But that's because I'm falling a little short on practicing things that I know. So tell us
Hmm.
how you help people do this and figure out which modality is good for me today, right?
Great,
Because
great question.
yeah, it's
Yes.
not like picking the color underwear you're going to wear
No,
every
it's
day.
not.
It's very different. But let's talk about this because today I made a comment to somebody and Aries showed up. And I'll tell you the comment I made and then I want you to take it away.
Hmm.
I didn't think it was a bad comment. I have Kamala Harris's new book, I have the audio version.
Hmm.
So I was talking with somebody about it And what they saw was blah, 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 blah. I'm not going to get into any politics here.
Sure.
I said, why ain't we fighting more? And my friend was like, girlfriend, you need to go like on a vacation. I said, I don't mean fighting, but if you believe you're going to lose your Social Security, hello, why aren't you out there? And I had to unexplain myself because I made a statement that sounded like the God of War.
Hmm.
But I didn't mean that. You see the dilemma if you're not working with someone. But my quantum partner said, your job is to become that person to transform the media. So take this
Hmm.
away. Which one do we use and how do we understand it? Because clearly I'm in a dilemma where I need some help with my own, you know what.
Well, I love that you're connecting, number one, and number two, that you're seeing the different perspectives. So you hear one thing, you communicate that one thing, and another person hears it in a different way, in a different understanding. So when you're working with someone like myself or other practitioners that are out there, we're able to help you get to the real perspective that you're trying to convey. So let's go into colors. Let's just say colors, right? Red, white, yellow, blue, purple. Okay, everyone has a
And
label.
gold,
Gold,
black and
absolutely.
gold.
Black and gold, green, we got it, right?
Yeah.
So every color has a word associated to it. But do you know that the color can actually be felt? In hypnosis, you can actually feel a color. You can see the color. You can hear the color. You can know the
Yeah.
color. And everybody has a different perspective of that color. What an amazing
Oh,
experience, right? And then to be able to vocalize that at the end of a session, how do you vocalize that if you don't know how to say how you heard a color? How do you hear gold? Right? You're
yeah.
going to hear something differently. And so, working with somebody who's in the present, in the moment with you right here, right now, we'd be able to dissect that a little bit and then also tie it back to how you feel and what emotions are going on right now with that color. It taps into a lot of different areas subconsciously, soulfully, uh, interconnectedness between all of us because it's just an amazing place to be in. And even though we have all these different perspectives and different thoughts, we're all connected in a
Oh,
beautiful, divine way.
yeah. It is so important. I mean, look at the logo. I don't think, Sierra, you can put our logo up on the screen or pop it in, but do you see the logo to the right? You see our Transformation
Oh,
Network
yes,
logo.
yes, yes.
Okay.
Oh, gosh. Yep.
All of our logos are gold,
Yeah.
right? But each channel has a different color. Somebody asked me the other day, what the heck is up with you and gold? And black. What's I said when what do you, like I'm like what do you mean? So let's talk about this because we're now at a point, or I'm at a point now where I need to really put the dots together on where I am, what the network's doing, where we need to go. So that's why you and I are going to have to do a session because I'm not able to do this alone. Too
Hmm.
many people are looking now and looking at the new designs and looking at things. What's up with you and gold? My answer was, doesn't everybody love gold? So walk us through how you take people that are in these questionable dilemmas in their life. Now, you brought up colors. That's what I'm talking about. It, but it doesn't have to be colors.
No,
It could be
relationships, soul connection,
children,
soul contacts,
relationship,
children.
jobs. How do you
Absolutely.
walk us through this to help us understand what the goal is and what
Yeah.
do we do to get aligned?
Perfect question. So I incorporate what I do as a daily recruiter. I interview you. We sit, we talk, we have a healthy conversation just like you and I are having right now. That's a part of the session. I get to know where you're at, who you're surrounded by, what you do for a living, where are your struggle areas, where are you accelerating? And then we go into our session and then we peel back the layers of the onion. Now, I'm just guiding. I'm literally just guiding. You're doing the work. You're communicating with me in that alpha or that theta state. You're the one that's vocalizing what you hear, see, feel, know, who surrounds you. Is that a child from your current life who's actually your mother in a past life? Is that your soul soul connection of this lifetime. That was your soul connection back then. And you get to experience the transitions of how you transitioned and the perspectives. It's just an amazing thing, but I get to know you
Yeah.
because your story today is different than somebody else's story today and tomorrow, right? So we have to
Mm.
subjectively create it just for you. But you're doing the work. You're doing the
Well,
work. It's not me. I'm not making you quack like a duck, I promise.
no, you're not. But here's what you are doing. You're creating a sanctuary. And this is what I want to
100%.
say about the work you do in hypnosis. It is a sanctuary. It is safe. It is a place that, one, we don't have the courage to go to ourselves. So I want to ask you this question. How do people work with you on this? I mean, I wasn't joking when I said I do need to sit down with you because
I'm more than happy
this
to.
is way past my pay grade on trying to figure this out. I have very conflicting things happening. And, we tend to really overemphasize the things that are not working and we lose sight of keeping our eye on the ball. So, how do we work with you? Because it could be a job, it could be a career, it could be your
Yeah.
bank account. How do you work with people and how do they find out more about that?
Absolutely. So they can simply go to my website, ascendingdawndoula.com, check out the services page. It'll direct you, well, it'll link you right back to my calendar and give you all the specs on how do we do it and how we connect. But we do discovery calls together, and that's complimentary. We get to know each other for 20 minutes, and then we figure out which modality is best suited. So some of these can be done virtually, which is amazing. And some of them, probably the longer sessions, 4-hour sessions, should probably be done in person because, if you have to get up and go to the bathroom, then I want to make sure you get to the bathroom, right? I can't do that virtually. And that has happened in person, which is quite interesting. But yeah, simply just connect with me on ascendingdawndoula.com, check out the services, schedule a complimentary call with me, and then we'll talk through where you're at and figure out the best modality. And I'm telling you, you walk away with
Yeah.
so many amazing nuggets of information. I can't even describe. It's worth it. It's a
Yeah.
bridge. These
Yeah.
sessions are a bridge to your soul, and why
And
not?
and you integrate the modalities. And I want to say that to
Oh,
people.
yeah.
See, that's the part that I love that we're talking about the work you're doing. And I love the brand. I love, look, you came up with Dawn Dula. So we're talking about a rebirthing. And today the card I pulled the bat out of my
Ooh,
deck. And the bat is
beautiful.
about rebirth. So I'm getting the messages. I'm just telling you, sister,
You
getting the messages and
are.
don't know what to do with them. Jenny, one more time with your website, if you don't mind.
Absolutely. Ascending Dawn, as in DAWN, doula, DOULA.com. Check me out. Give me a call. Send me an email. I'm more than happy to explain it. The biggest thing is removing the stage hypnosis. You're not going to quack like a duck. You're going to
No.
connect with your soul.
Yeah.
And how much more magical can that be?
And to get some help for you all at not creating your own story about something that may not be true. Because sometimes you do need to pick up the Aquaman special saber. You do. But you don't know what to do with it, and you're going to have to find out. Thank you, Jenny, so much.
Thank
What a
you.
great show. So much more.
Yes.
Jenny is on it. For those of you out there that are in a quandary, and I know you are because you're emailing me, get some help. We'll see you next time.
Thank you for tuning in with me, Jennie Sikes of Ascending Dawn Doula. Please tune in every fourth Tuesday at 11 Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern on Transformation Talk Radio. If this resonated with you, share it with someone who's walked with you through a transition. And if you're curious about how to align with your purpose, with your path, come find me at ascendingdawndoula.com or Ascending Dawn on socials. Thanks again for listening. Keep rising, and I will see you next time.